What's up, YouTube? Sorry I've been gone for so long. Kind of got busy at my job and with life and everything else. But I'm back. First video of 2020. So, what's been going on since I left? Well, little recap. Um, since my last video, the um, impeachment of Donald Trump went through, or at least through Congress. Still waiting for it to get to the Senate. Australia is on fire, and tensions are high with Iran. So pretty much business as usual. Okay, starting off, because I want to touch on Iran a little bit later. With Australia, what's funny is when news broke out about the fires in Australia, the typical um, headline was climate change has caused fires in Australia, or something along that lines. And a little bit later, come find out, no, that's not the case. In Australia, from my understanding, and this was last time I checked, it was reported up to 87% of the fires in Australia was caused because of arsonists. They were caused by people setting fires just for the heck of it. Now, the problem with that is with Australia catching fire, yes, some of it can be attributed to climate change, but most of it is from the same problem that California had with all the fires, which is um, fire prevention mismanagement. What do I mean by that? Pretty much in Australia, they did like how California does, and they did not conduct the controlled burns. Pretty much they stopped doing that a few decades ago. Now, what controlled burns do, and I'm pretty sure I've explained this in the video about California fires, pretty much since they haven't done controlled burns in a few decades, they had tons of foliage on the ground, dead foliage. And with Australia not getting much rain as is, yeah, they were asking for a major wildfire to happen. Those were reported back in 2015 with I believe it was a scientist saying that unless they doubled, if not tripled, the fire prevention methods, then they're going to be experiencing a major wildfire in a few years. Well, a few years later, here we are. See, if you look at California and Australia, there are actual areas where private citizens conducted their own controlled burns. And after the fires have swept through those areas, reports have come out that the residents that did controlled burns, they were untouched. Yeah, these residents, they were in the middle of these fires, and the fires pretty much passed them over. So saying that fire prevention does not work, pretty much is thrown out the window when there's evidence of it actually working. So that's just, I don't know what to say about that. But let the governments, state, local, and national, do what they need to do to protect their citizens. If that means controlled burns, let them do it. If it means clearing out areas for them to do controlled burns and collect all the dead foliage, let them do it. Activists, y'all are causing these wildfires to get to the point that they are by literally going to the state, local, and national governments telling them, you cannot do this. You cannot do this because you're going to cause problems with this animal's ecosystem or this animal's way of life. We are at the point where koalas are functionally extinct. And it could have been prevented. But no, y'all wanted to raise a tizzy and complain and everything else. And now we have up to 1,000 dead koalas. And who knows what are the species that are indigenous to just Australia being dead now. And y'all complaining about thinking about freaking the wildlife and everything else. Y'all the idiots are causing them to go extinct. So activists, shut your mouth. Sit down. Now, to get to the whole impeachment procedure with President Trump, we all know it passed the House. It was predicted it was going to pass the House. It was Democratic. It was controlled by the Democratic Party. So, of course, the Democrats were going to vote for it. What's actually funny is the fact that 0 Republicans voted for the impeachment. And not all Democrats voted yes. Every single Republican voted no. If I remember correctly, the count was up to 35 Democrats either voted not present or they voted with Republicans. So, yeah, it was a partisan vote. My prediction, and everybody else's prediction, is once it gets to the Senate, and Pelosi finally sends it to the articles of impeachment to the Senate, it's going to be voted down, and it's going to be unilaterally Republicans with at least, I'm going to say, up to a couple of Democrats voting no on the articles of impeachment. All the other Democrats are going to vote yes for the impeachment, but since they are the minority in the Senate, it's not going to pass. What I want to see, though, when it gets to the Senate is during the trial phase, for them to look at every single avenue. I want the Republicans in the Senate to look at every single lead, namely the ones that Democrats ignored, because I'm pretty sure there's plenty Democrats have ignored. But hey, only time will tell. Now, on to the whole Iran situation. Okay, to be truthful, my opinion with Iran is, should we get involved? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Given the fact that decades ago we got involved with their government and started fighting with them, then we pulled out, and we've very much been doing proxy war. Not like a full-blown war. We do strike. Well, we would do a strike against Iran. They would do a strike on us, and then everybody breaks for a beer. The difference, well, there's not much of a difference now because Iran's doing what they normally do. They would attack like oil tankers that belongs to either the U.S. or Britain or the U.K. And so far under Trump, the only thing he's really done, well, besides taking out Soleimani, is put sanctions. So far, since Trump became president, Iran has sabotaged U.S. oil tankers. They have downed a U.S. drone. They have commandeered. Wait, was it commandeered? I'm gonna say sabotaged a UK oil tanker. They've, I believe, attacked other countries' embassies in Iraq. Then they attacked the U.S. embassy in Iraq, which, yes, several of those that attacked the U.S. embassy said that their leader was Soleimani, which means they were part of Soleimani's militia forces. So technically, you can say Iran did attack the U.S. Now, when that happened, Trump told Iran, hey, back off, or we're going to do something you're going to regret. They pretty much went, ha ha ha, F you. Well, when they said that, Trump went, okay, push a button, killed Soleimani. And now, in the funniest thing I've ever seen, there's actually people on the left condemning the bombing and killing of Soleimani, saying that the U.S. is pushing for a war. Explain to me how the U.S. is pushing for a war when we pretty much didn't do anything the last 4 to 5 times Iran did something to us or our allies. Explain that to me, please. I'm wanting to know how will the warmongers, when the only attack we've done to them is take out a high-ranking official, but yet they've done multiple attacks on us and allies. It doesn't make any sense to me how we're the warmongers. I mean, if Obama was president and this happened, y'all would say Iran's wanting a war. We need to go attack them. But since it's Trump, Trump's running a war with Iran. I'm pretty sure a Democrat candidate from 2016 said that she wanted to attack Iran. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll spell it out for you. Her husband's a prior president. Okay, if you haven't figured it out, it's freaking Hillary Clinton. She was wanting war with Iran. Not to mention John McCain was wanting war with Iran. Like, Why is it when Democrats are pushing for a war, it's okay? But when a Republican does a strike, which constitutionally, Democrats, y'all gave Trump that power. Not Trump himself, but you gave the office of the president, the executive branch, the power to do strikes. I don't want to hear any of the whole, this strike was unconstitutional. Y'all gave, the office of the president has been given powers to do strikes. And it's been like that for, I'm going to say at least a decade or two. I got to double check. But it's been there for a hot minute. So, yeah. Trump was within his right to do it. Should he have taken out some money? Absolutely. Is there going to be World War III? No. All I'm seeing right now is possible war with Iran. Now, with Iran, with reports of the Ukrainian airliner going down in Iran and finding out it was an Iranian missile that took the plane out, yeah, they're going to be in kind of hot water. So they're going to be doing their best to save face. So Trump saying, looks like Iran is toning down and everything. They better take that and be like, okay, yeah, we need to tone down right now because we accidentally killed a bunch of civilians and we're already the bad guy. So right now we could say, hey, they did this as an act of terrorism because it's being put down as an accident. So it can go either way. But it's probably going to be, it can be put down as an act of terrorism if all the other countries agree to it. If that happens, then yeah, the whole Russia will come in and help Iran. That's not going to happen. China can come in and help out Iran. Not going to happen. Because they don't want to get in trouble by saying, yeah, they killed a bunch of civilians. Who cares? No. They don't want, they will not want that image on themselves. They're going to want to be kind of squeaky clean. Well, they're going to want to look uninvolved. So, right now, what I'm predicting is going to happen, Iran's going to start standing down, and instead of going to war, they might actually come to the table and talk about peace. So, again, only time will tell. But those are my thoughts. So, peace out.